Hi everybody, I'm Aiden Durham with 180 Law Co. in Colorado, and welcome back to All Up in Your Business. Today's episode, we're answering the age-old question, should I trademark my name, logo, or both? This is easily one of the most common conversations that I have with clients when it comes to trademarks and when we're talking about protecting their branding and their intellectual property. This comes up all the time. The simple answer is yes. But the more complex answer is it depends. So there are different kinds of trademarks. There's a standard character mark, which is just text. There's no design, there's no image, there's nothing special about it. It's just words and normal looking characters, like a business name. So a business name, just on its own, would be a standard character trademark. Then there's special or stylized or design marks, which are your logos. It can be anything from if you have a stylized font of your business name, that counts as a special mark or a design mark. Or if you have a full-blown logo with an image or some kind of artwork or something like that, any kind of logo or anything where there is something other than just the words itself, that would fall into this design mark. When you get a standard character mark, it protects the words regardless of how they appear. So when you trademark your name, your business's name, as a standard character mark, it's protecting the name, regardless of how you use it, regardless of how it appears visually to people. So generally speaking, with that kind of a trademark, it's going to prevent other people or other companies from using that name or something similar to it in a competitive manner. Whereas if you trademark a logo or a design mark, you're getting a trademark registration and protecting the way it visually appears. So you're protecting the font, or in some instances, the colors that you're using in the logo or the design itself or the image itself. Those things are being protected, but the literal element to it isn't on its own going to be protected as a trademark. So with your business name in your logo, if you trademark just your logo, you're not really trademarking the name. You're not getting any real protection over the name itself. You're only getting protection over the name as it appears in your logo. Now, this is kind of misleading because you do still get some protection over the name itself, even if you're just trademarking the logo. Because the name, the literal element, the text, is going to still come up in the trademark database. So when people are out there searching for business names to see if they're available, if you trademarked your logo, they're going to still see the name come up in that database. And they're still going to think, oh, okay, someone's got this trademarked in many cases. And the trademark office still takes the words themselves into consideration when they're evaluating a new application too. So just because you haven't trademarked your business name as a standard character mark doesn't necessarily mean that you have no protection over the words. But for the most part, that's the idea, is that with a standard character mark, you're protecting the words themselves, regardless of how they appear. But with the design mark or your logo, you're protecting the words and the image as it appears on the application. So let's get back to the question, should I trademark my name, logo, or both? Obviously, the easy answer is that the best thing to do is to trademark both. You want protection over the name itself, and you want protection over the way it's appearing in your logo. Or you just want protection over your logo if you have some other design element to it. So the best thing to do is to trademark both. But obviously, trademarks are expensive. We can't always do that. So if you have to pick one or the other, the answer isn't quite as easy because it's really going to depend. I generally advise my clients to start with trademarking the name on its own without reference to any design or logo or anything like that, because most of the time the name of the business is what's the most important. That's the vital part to the brand when you're starting up, is this name that you've got. Sometimes the name isn't as important though, or sometimes the name is one that you might not be able to get a registered trademark. I've done videos on things that you can't trademark, things like descriptive or generic trademarks, those things you can't really get a registered trademark over as a standard character mark. So if I had a client whose business name was pretty descriptive or generic, then in that instance, I might recommend that we start by trademarking the logo, because having it in a logo makes it now a bit more distinctive. So you can get a trademark on these words that you normally wouldn't have been able to if not for the distinctive design that you're using it in. But again, it's so specific to every trademark and every business. There's really no generic or general answer to this question. So if you're interested in getting a trademark, if you're concerned about your trademark rights or protecting your business name or logo or slogan or any of that, it's so important to talk to an attorney about it, because you want to know that you are getting the right kind of protection out of this trademark that you're paying so much money and going through so much effort for. You might get a trademark on your own, but it may not do you any good if you don't know what you're trademarking or why. That's all for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Aiden Durham, and I'll see you next time.